I know this sounds like a weird question to ask. I mean, Super Saiyan is that transformation that Goku, Vegeta, and pretty much anyone who carries the name Saiyan these days can turn into. It's a bargain sale after all. But despite that, do we really know everything about Super Saiyan? Do we know everything about the form and what it does? And more so, is it really Saiyan only? Because the longer I think about it, the more I feel like it might not be. But this is just one of many questions we're going to be tackling today, so I hope you're ready for it. Welcome to the Amagi! Before we begin, only 25% of our viewers are subscribed, so if you're a fan of the video, please like and double check if you are subscribed. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Super Saiyan, reputed to be a warrior that appears only once every 1,000 years. According to Toriyama, the last one, and the only one in the known history of the Saiyan race, was Yamashi, a righteous warrior who, knowing that the Saiyans were evil, attempted to throw a coup with his 5 comrades, only to be defeated by the evil Saiyans. In an act of desperation, he decided that the only thing he could do was blow up the planet, and from there his spirit wandered the cosmos, seeking someone to replace him as not only a Super Saiyan, but as a legendary Super Saiyan god. His story found its way to planet Namek, where it was recorded by the Elder in the Namekian Book of Legends. But sadly, nobody worthy would appear for a long time, though apparently a prophecy was created that the next would show up about 1,000 years later. I mean, unless there was a Super Saiyan before Yamashi, I don't see how else they would be able to predict when Goku, or Broly, or whoever you consider to be Yamashi's successor would appear. But alas, Goku, a righteous warrior awakened by rage and sorrow, rose up against Frieza with his new, awesome golden power, and defeated the evil Emperor once and for never, since he keeps coming on back like a cockroach. But he wasn't the only one to achieve this form. Vegeta was next, followed by future Trunks, Gohan, Goten, and regular Trunks. Even Perfect Cell could transform into a Super Saiyan due to his Saiyan genetics. So for what reason did anyone say that a legendary Super Saiyan could only appear once every 1,000 years, if it appeared about 6 times in the same 10, not counting future timeline variants? And this isn't even talking about the Universe 6 Saiyans. So what's the deal? Is everyone just a warrior of legend these days? The answer is yes, and it always has been. You see, we've never really understood the Super Saiyan. All we've ever known about Super Saiyan is the bottlenecked, faded view that the Saiyans had. All of this information being given to us by Vegeta, the guy who didn't even know what a real Super Saiyan even was. Bro literally thought attaining a Zenkai was a Super Saiyan transformation. And these days, he still seems iffy about it, considering that he thinks Kale might have been the original transformation used by the legendary Saiyan. So if the form isn't special, then what is it? For that answer, we need to break out our inner Qui-Gons and remove the special from something mystical and replace it with a biological function. That's right, we're talking about S-Cells, the Dragon Ball equivalent to the Jedi's midichlorians. The S-Cell is responsible for every Saiyan's ability to transform into a Super Saiyan. They seem to be a physical embodiment of pure power, as the more S-Cells you have, the stronger you seem to be, and the more gentle you are, the more you seem to make. For reference, let's look at the Universe 6 Saiyans compared to the Universe 7 Saiyans. In Universe 7, the Saiyans fought against the Tuffles to claim Planet Plant for their own, and rename it Planet Vegeta. They generally had a power level ranging anywhere between 1,000 to 10,000, with 10,000 being the higher end and essentially their idea of a high-class warrior. Now let's take a look at the Universe 6 Saiyans. Yeah, Kaba, the scrawny little fella with absolutely no pride, is going one-on-one against base Vegeta and apparently pushing him. Now, whether you think that Vegeta was holding back or suppressing himself or what, it's still impressive. I mean, we're talking about Vegeta, who at this point not only is well beyond Majin Buu level, but is compared to Goku, who should be about as strong as a Super Saiyan God in base form. So even if Vegeta is holding back a lot, Kappa is still well beyond a power level of 10,000. That's the difference between a gentle nature with lots of S cells and a rogue nature that doesn't have as many. According to certain statements, this is likely the reason why Universe 6 Saiyans don't have tails anymore. Well, besides the fact that Toriyama got tired of drawing them. In Universe, the explanation is that they're strong enough to not need to rely upon that power anymore, so their tails stop growing in, kinda how like it was for Goten and Trunks. They already have enough S cells to turn Super Saiyan, which is a vastly superior transformation compared to Great Ape. But if it's something that biologically any Saiyan is able to do, then why did they say it can only show up once every 1,000 years? Well, it's simple. There were no good Saiyans. Ever. A good Saiyan is about as rare as a shiny Pokemon. And even if a good Saiyan appears like Bardock, they're generally not good enough to go against their entire culture. If you want to think about it, saying that a Super Saiyan can only appear every 1,000 years is like how we might say that fellow is a 1 in a million type of guy. It's not really meant to be literal, but just to say that it's rare. But on a world like Earth, where the culture is far more relaxed and you're allowed to be kind without repercussions, someone like Bardock might have been more like Goku or Gohan. Far more capable of kindness than savagery. So the thing is, there's nothing really legendary about the Super Saiyan transformation. In fact, it's very natural for the Saiyans. Their culture is just so evil that it becomes so rare that they can't even comprehend it. Do you know how natural Super Saiyan really is? It's so natural that it's not even Saiyan exclusive. Did I hook ya? Yeah, you heard me. Super Saiyan is not a transformation that is exclusive to Saiyans only. And while that may seem completely illogical, it's technically not. We know plenty of races in Dragon Ball have transformations. One such race would be that of Zarbon. They have a transformation that allows them to increase their power through a biological change. And even before attaining their Super Saiyan forms, Saiyans had their own transformation, Ozaru. However, recent information tells us that the Super Saiyan transformation isn't exclusive to Saiyans. The piece of information I'm speaking of actually comes from the not-so-recently released movie, Dragon Ball Super: Superhero. In it, we see that Gohan is actually studying out the Super Saiyan transformation and has reached the same conclusion as us. It is not Saiyan exclusive. In the movie, he shows Piccolo his research in that he was studying a curious type of ant found on Earth that, when threatened, begins to let off a brilliant golden glow that functions similar to the Super Saiyan transformation. And these creatures weren't even found on some far-off world. They're found on Earth, of all places. This means that a transformation identical to Super Saiyan is already on Earth and likely has been far longer than the legends about Yamoshi's existence persisted. And as I realized this, I began to think about how far this goes. Well, the first thing I thought about was the Saiyan hybrids. I'm not talking about Gohan, Goten, or Trunks, I'm talking about Goku Jr. from GT's A Hero's Legacy. In that, Goku Jr. is Pan's great-great-grandson, and Pan herself is already the granddaughter of Goku, who is the only full-blooded Saiyan in their parental or maternal lineages. This means that Goku Jr. is only 1/64th Saiyan, or for those who want percentages, Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. should only be give or take 1.5% Saiyan. This makes them 98.5% human, so pure that they should have barely any Saiyan genetics anymore, yet they possess the Super Saiyan transformations. And if we're going to go even further than this, we can bring up Dragon Ball Online, which, though now offline, was created with the help of Akira Toriyama. This game takes place in age 1000, which is approximately 111 years after A Hero's Legacy, and GT's Shadow Dragon arcs was only 100 years before A Hero's Legacy. Meaning that the generations that should be passing should make Goku Jr. the great-great-grandfather of the Earthling protagonists in Online, of which are the only race to possess the Super Saiyan transformation. That's right, in Dragon Ball Online there are no Saiyans anymore, and the only race to possess Super Saiyan are the Earthlings. And this story is fringe canon, at least according to Toyotaro. So if that's how it is and we're right about this, then the Earthling protagonists in Dragon Ball Online should have less than 0.1% Saiyan genetics, and yet they can still turn Super Saiyan. And that's not even counting Pan, who during the anime version of the Battle of Gods arc, through her connection with Videl, allowed Videl to, for but a moment, actually turn into a Super Saiyan. At this point in time, one could say that simply drinking a glass of water after a Super Saiyan is enough to allow you to turn Super Saiyan. The question is, does this have anything to do with Saiyans? Or is it possible that Earthlings also possess this type of transformation, yet can't access it without the proper criteria? After all, if the universe 6 Saiyans can go this long, get this strong, and still not discover the Super Saiyan transformation, perhaps the Earthlings can too. But to solidify this theory, allow me to attach even more loose evidence. Even Earthlings aren't the only race to possess a similar type of transformation to the Saiyans. We have the Namekians, who, through having their potential awakened by their own Dragon Balls, can take on a sort of golden-skinned form, well, yellow-green-skinned form that has no real name other than Ultimate. They can further progress into an orange form, which kind of puts me slightly in the mind of Super Saiyan God due to its fiery color. This would make sense due to how the Namekians are the only race to possess information on the Super Saiyan God due to how he visited them in the form of a spirit. Whether the orange form for Piccolo is a divine form or not, however, is still a question. The one theory suggests that it is, as after Piccolo attained this form, Goten and Trunks seemed to lose track of Piccolo's ki. Though this could be them just being out of practice. Now, last but not least, we have my final point. Golden Frieza. Now, there is an argument to be made that possibly the color gold was not something genetic, but something Frieza chose personally. However, despite this, Frieza in canon was gold, and outside of canon, every other Frost Demon to attain a form on par with this has always turned gold. This includes Cooler in the Heroes series, as well as the Frieza Race Time Patrollers in Xenoverse 2, and the Frieza Race Heroes in the Dragon Ball Heroes game. It's pretty well established that every Frieza Race character who takes on a form similar to this takes on the same golden color as Frieza without any variation. This could simply be marketing or something not meant to be canon, but the fact that Frieza and all others of his race take on a golden color suggests that it's very similar to the Super Saiyan form. And if I'm going to go out on a limb a little further, I should mention its usage and power in the Resurrection F series. You see, when the movie first released, Toriyama released an art book to go along with it, and in that art book he states that Super Saiyan Blue is derived from a godlike Saiyan. Here's the actual quote from the art book. It's said that Saiyans can gain control of godlike power without changing form. But if those godlike Saiyans change into Super Saiyans, then the power of a Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is born. That technically means that Super Saiyan Blue is not a Super Saiyan God who turned Super Saiyan, but a Super Saiyan who attained godlike power similar to a Super Saiyan God. So this should mean that technically, Goku was using this godlike Saiyan state in base form while fighting Frieza. And when Goku turned into a Super Saiyan Blue, Frieza matched this with his golden form. This means that the boost of golden is the same as Super Saiyan, being 50 times. Considering the color and the power of Frieza's golden form, it is obvious that Frieza attaining this form was designed to be Frieza's equivalent of attaining Super Saiyan 1. And this is further shown in the film when Frieza loses his form due to power straining, something he only manages to fix while in Hell just before the Tournament of Power. This technically makes his true Golden Frieza form equivalent to Goku's Super Saiyan 4th grade transformation, in that it learns to control the power enough to make it less draining on his stamina. And so I posit this: Super Saiyan is neither rare nor exclusive. It's actually a transformation that's quite common in the world of Dragon Ball, and it's very possible that even the Earthlings have their own variation of this transformation, due to its appearance in some that have either 0.1% or less of DNA, or in Videl's case, 0 Saiyan DNA. It's possible that Toriyama was planning to further bargain sale this transformation to others, such as the Earthlings. Perhaps this is why he brought up the concept of the Super Saiyans in the superhero arc. Am I reading too much into this? Perhaps, but that's what Dragon Ball fans do, and even if I'm wrong, I still find it very interesting that Gohan's studies insinuate that Saiyans aren't the only ones who can turn Super Saiyan. Maybe Toyotaru will go somewhere with that someday. I hope he does, but until then, all we can do is speculate. But what did you think about the video? Do you agree with the idea that Super Saiyan is no longer Saiyan exclusive? Do you want other characters to have their own versions of Super Saiyan? Or do you think the transformation would be better if only the Saiyans had it? I'm interested to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified when more videos like this drop. Be sure to check out these other videos from our channel. Anyway, until next time, peace out.